Okay, head coach Travis Mercado, Jayleen Sekona, Hania Halverson. Coach, season starts on Friday. We get the Brawl on Friday, and then the Maverick Open on Saturday. Just give us kind of a quick preview of those two events.
Yeah, absolutely. Home opener this weekend, and it's super exciting. Right? I was reminded recently, actually this morning, that 7 years ago, like to this day, was our home opener when we first started the program, and to see the pictures of that, like how much we've grown from a roster of 7 athletes to a roster of 40. And it's amazing to see our growth in this past 7 years. And 7 years ago, we talked about having All-Americans, national champions, girls making age group world teams, and like we have that around us now. So it's really fun to see that growth. Excited for the weekend, right? It's my 20th year coaching and my 20th home opener in the sense of like wrestling seasons. And I'm so excited to get to have this team compete against Fort Hays and Snow this weekend, right? It's going to be a great night. Fort Hays, a new program technically, right? They redshirted their team last year in the sense of it's just starting. Really tough freshman class that they recruited in. So I'm really excited to get the opportunity to have our girls compete against them. Snow is one of the top junior colleges. They've had a handful of girls All-American every year. Coach Taylor does a really amazing job there. So it's great to just have them come up and compete and get ready. And then Saturday is our open tournament. We have Texas Women's, Adams State, University of Las Vegas, Nevada's club team, Utah Tech, handful of teams, right? It's fun to have that opportunity, just come out an early season tournament at home. The girls get to sleep in their own beds and get to compete at home and not have to deal with any travel. And we get to compete in front of our fans, and they love watching us compete, and we love competing and performing for them.
Jayleen, for you, senior year this year, looking to be a 4-time All-American, ranked in the preseason. What has the lead up to this season been for you? How has that gone training wise and just outlook on the season?
Yeah, so one thing I like to mention, I mentioned it like 1,000 times in person, and I'm about to do it 1,000 times more, but I love our freshman girls. Like with them and training with them and working with them has been a great opportunity. They're strong, they're committed, they're very driven, and they're very competitive. So having them, on the team has really driven me in my competitiveness, if you can say. And yeah, it's just been really good.
And I, for you, narrowly missed the national tournament last year. What's been the maybe the one big thing that you've been training on this year so far?
Well, I think one thing is just like having fun and going out and not putting so much pressure on myself, but just like being grateful for the opportunity to wrestle, and instead of focusing on that outcome, rather just focusing on how can I be the best wrestler that I can be. And like, if you lose a wrestling match, you lose a wrestling match. But yeah, so just focusing on having fun and wrestling well.
Something new this year, and I'll ask for all of your guys' comments on it, is the new weight classes. And so I struggled the other day putting the program together for the inter squad. I couldn't remember what was what. And so how has that changed for you guys? Coach is probably different than wrestler. Wrestler is different than coach. And just what's the difference, and what are you taking from it?
For us, I said it this morning when we were talking about it on the radio with the weight class changes. It was a culmination of ideas, efforts, people speaking out loud about making sure that we were providing an opportunity for our student athletes, or specifically our female student athletes, to compete at a safe manner, right? And it wasn't just the weight classes that changed. It was the minimum body fat percentage in the OPC that changed, moving it from 12 to 17%. So we knew that by upping that percentage, we needed to adjust the weight classes accordingly. Minor changes, right? 101 went to 103, 2 pounds, and then everything after that went up 1 pound. 36 and 43 went up 2 pounds to 38, 45 respectively. The biggest changes are the change at that upper weights, right? 55, 70, 91 are now 160, 180, 207. And I think we did a really good job of recruiting, and we did a really good job of planning. We kind of knew it was coming down the pipeline, just the conversations that were being had. And really, like, Jayleen slides right into 207 perfectly, right? And that was something I think I was really proud of her all summer. Like, yes, the weight class went up 16 pounds. Jayleen's weight didn't go up 16 pounds. Jayleen has been really consistent with her weight this summer. I think it was something that we highlighted a lot, was it was the most athletic and the strongest that she's ever looked all summer long. And I think that's played a really big role in how she's performing right now and getting ready for this season. And then again, 180, Maggie slides down from 191, which was a little heavy for her, but 170 was too far away. So Maggie Smith slides right into that 180. And then you have, returner Kimmy Carlin, who was kind of an in-between 55, 70 last year, bumped up to 70. She fits perfectly into 60. And then we recruited Gretchen Donnelly, who took third at Junior World Team Trials and made the U.S. national team at 72 kilos. So she slides right into that position really well. So do the weight classes favor us? I think a little bit, but again, it took some planning and some, organization and, some dedication to the girls on their side to manage their weights and keep it there, knowing what they wanted to compete at during the year and staying with that during the summer in their training cycle.
Yeah, sort of to like piggyback off of your answer, Travis. It didn't just, I wouldn't say it favored our girls, but it favored the sport in general. Girls that are coming from high school who are weighing 235 have more of a doable opportunity to go down to 207 instead of 191. So growing that competition has been really exciting for me, and seeing this new perspective within the sport too, and just having more girls in it has just been very awesome.
It's also just cool that like you get to focus on just wrestling rather than thinking about having to lose 10, 15 pounds every week or whatever for your cut. But it's good. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say.
It's 1 pound extra.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect the lower weight classes as much. I guess you can eat a little more or gain an extra pound of muscle.
But you don't have to. You've got a little bit of wiggle room.
Mhm.
When things, you can have one more half a piece of bread. Because really, there are times when I can't have carbs right now because I got to make weight this week. So it's one good thing. So you mentioned how much you enjoyed the freshman group. Can you think back when you were that age and kind of how has this program changed, and how have you changed since you showed up a wide-eyed kid going, I got no clue what I'm getting myself into?
So I really like that question a lot. But when I was a freshman, I was very shy. I was very much an introvert, and I didn't really reach out to certain individuals. I didn't really reach out to anybody on the team. And it took me a bit of time to grow that confidence. But, having my resources like Travis Mercado, our athletic trainers, and just having their support and, having the team support as well and growing my confidence within them has really helped me grow as an individual. And yeah, seeing like these little freshmen, they don't feel like freshmen. Like our freshman class, probably my most favorite, to be honest. Like they're very mature, they're very locked in, lasered in what they want. They're very goal oriented, and they have a growth mindset. So I admire that a lot from them.
You guys, you had your inter squad last week and all. Is it time to see somebody else on the mat?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Like the last time a handful of us competed in April. But last March was a long time ago. So it's going to be cool to see what the last handful of months have done to improve. They can either really support you in going into this season, or they can be something that you're like, oh yeah, time to wrestle, So just like getting to compete against other girls that aren't our teammates will be fun to see how we can play with the moves we've been working on against new fields, new people. So
Travis talked about this being at home, and this team's never lost a duel at home. As the wrestlers, what is it? Just kind of add that a little extra excitement or oomph to your time on the mat, or what are the thoughts when you're at home versus on the road?
I like sleeping in my own bed. That's gotta be one of my favorites. It's really fun, like being home, and we get to have friends or people's families get to come and watch and maybe hang out for the weekend. So it's it's always fun having your friends get to watch you wrestle, because they're like, so what exactly is wrestling? The non-wrestling friends. So that's always a highlight.
I'm gonna just agree with you on the bed part. I love my bed. So having the opportunity not to only just have my bed, but to have multiple sources out for me to use, and being able to know what those sources are, and feel comfortable and confident when it comes to competition at home.
Competing at home it's a lot of fun. I think the highlight for this home event is we really set our home opener up like the national finals, right? So we have the tunnel and the lights and the smoke, and right, I think that's the fun thing for us is, we create an event here on campus, and I think that's something that speaks highly of our athletics department, not just wrestling, but everything here is an event, and we treat it that way. And to give these girls an experience that's like the national finals, to prepare Hania, Jayleen, Genesis, right? All the other girls, to prepare them to walk out at the national finals with the lights and the smoke, the pomp and the circumstance, all of that fanfare makes that a lot of fun, and it makes the event really exciting for our group that comes out to or watch us compete. This Valley is really wrestling savvy. They love wrestling. They love watching it, and I think they've really grown to love women's wrestling because it's new, it's fast, it's exciting, it's freestyle. I mean, I still get stopped very regularly in town where they say I have the wrong shirt on, but then when I tell my coach, they really buy into, like, they want to know everything about it. And then it's like, hey, we're wrestling on Friday, November 1st. And they're like, oh man, we can't wait to go. And all of a sudden you have 3-4 new fans for life because you just talk to them and they learned something new about wrestling.
All right, last question of the day, toughest question of the day. Favorite childhood Halloween costume?
I've answered this one before. I hope Yonka remembers. I was Sonic the Hedgehog when I was like 10 years old. And the best part about it was I got to buy red high top Converse because Sonic had red shoes. And I thought I was the fastest Sonic out there. But that was probably one of my favorite costumes growing up as a kid. Good luck.
I don't know how cool my Halloween costumes were. I would normally do like a onesie, like a giraffe onesie, or like something kind of boring and simple, but
Okay. For me, as a kid, especially in kindergarten, like when I was 6 years old, I was obsessed with Ariel, the princess, the mermaid princess. And so I dressed up like Ariel when I was in kindergarten for Halloween, and I felt so good. Like I felt like I was on the top of the world. I had one of my classmates, I remember this vividly, where they're like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. And I'm like, I know. I'm just joking.
Awesome. Thank you. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Yonki. Thanks,
you.
guys.